we gonna get into this Lamar Jackson deal.
All right.
So I just read on CBS Sports. He turned down a deal of $250 million total, $133 million guaranteed. Now, if you look at the other deals that the other quarterbacks got, I'm not sure about Josh Allen, but as far as annually per year, it's up in the 40s, I think. And then you got Kyler Murray. I think his guaranteed money is like 180-ish, 180 plus, 190 plus guaranteed. And then you got Dak Prescott, which he signed his deal prior to the stock market going up for quarterbacks. But I think his first year he got like 75 million. I think.
I think that. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think this year he got like or is getting like 30 going into the next year. I think he's getting like 30 plus from his last contract he signed. And then you got Patrick Mahomes who signed 10, 500 million. So that's like in the 40s, 50s ish.
So
and then you got what's the name?
Deshaun Watson.
You got Deshaun Watson, 230 guaranteed.
No, he got guaranteed. His whole contract is guaranteed.
All of it guaranteed. All of it guaranteed. So like that's I think that's what Lamar is looking for. Like at the minimum that or higher. And then you have other quarterbacks like Joe Burrow and what's the name from Jaguars? What's his name?
From Clemson.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. You got quarterbacks like that that's about to get extensions. Jalen Hurts about to get an extension.
Yeah.
About to get an extension for where he played this year. And then you got who else?
Jared Goff. No, not Jared Goff.
Not Jared Goff.
Kyler Murray had signed.
Kyler Murray already signed.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford just signed a contract from last year, Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
It ain't that. I don't think it's that much. I don't think it's like up there with them.
He don't got that much. He don't got that much time left in his.
What's his name? The Chargers quarterback.
Oh, him. What's his name?
Herbert or something.
Herbert. Yeah. Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
He about to get. They about to get paid. The quarterbacks. Yeah, they about to get paid. So, how y'all feel about Lamar Jackson deal?
I'll go first.
And the Ravens right now.
So I think unfortunately for Lamar, right? One, he represents himself, which there's pros and cons to that. Like I just in my understanding of business, I just think it's bad to represent yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
But I also understand it could be more lucrative to represent yourself. So I'm not saying it's a bad decision. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I think it might be better to have somebody else represent you that's like less emotional about the situation, because it's hard not to have, let your personal feelings about what you do and don't deserve versus somebody else who's I don't know what his degree and his education is. So that's why I'm saying that from a ignorant position, not fully understanding his abilities, you know what I mean? In that arena. But I'm looking at the figures, right? So matter of fact, before I go into the figures, Lamar Jackson is a dual threat quarterback, and he's good at it, right? But the problem with that is that his legs are better than his arm, and nobody would deny that. It's been that way since his college, right? He's gotten better at passing, but his legs still are better than his arm, and when you think about that, right? He had that. What that means is that the likelihood of him being in the NFL longer than the next 3 years is probably low. Unfortunately, he's not gonna make. He won't. And I could be wrong. Obviously,
historically speaking, Historically speaking, we talk about the past quarterbacks were dual threat quarterbacks. Yeah. I mean, if you look at his history, they don't last long.
Yeah, and so when you think about it, right, and everybody else that got pretty, like Pat Mahomes, right? Yeah. His contract for 10 years is based off of what Tom Brady did, right? So the Chiefs are like, hey, the Patriots had Tom Brady for 15, 17 years. He played all of those years minus like 4 or 5 games. And he won a bunch of Super Bowls, and Pat Mahomes is on pace to do something similar.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs was like, hey, we'll give this guy a 10-year deal, right? Because in the NFL, you rarely see deals, especially for more than 3, 4 years, 5 years for quarterbacks, but 10 years that's groundbreaking. And then
I don't think all that's guaranteed though.
Yeah, I remember
I think his contract a little different than everybody.
Yeah, it's probably structured.
Yeah, I think it's structured differently.
Yeah.
I heard someone that said he got to go renegotiate.
I think
either this year or next year.
Yeah.
But I don't think everything's fully guaranteed.
But it saves him from having to do with franchise tags and stuff like that.
Yeah, they went on ahead and locked him down.
But and then like back to Lamar, right? And he's looking at Deshaun Watson is probably what he's really looking at. And the problem with that is Deshaun Watson, right? Deshaun Watson went to the Browns to get paid. Like, let's be sure. If you go into the Browns, you're going there to get paid, to finish your time in the NFL and walk away with a fat check.
And I think the Browns were desperate too, because they seen what Deshaun didn't want to be in the Texans anymore. I mean, you can kind of like depict why he didn't, whether it's because he didn't like the organization or because of the stuff that he was doing. Yeah, he just wanted to get out of a bad situation.
But he told him, pay me, show me the money. It's like, hey, I will come here for 5 years if you give me all of the money that I'm signing for.
Yeah.
And to go to I think every player on the Browns should have a fully guaranteed contract because you're losing money elsewhere, right? So, Pat Mahomes, isn't losing money. He could have took a smaller contract because he's going to have his jersey sales. He's going to get his endorsements because he's the face of the franchise. Right. But, if you go to the Browns, their fan base is small because their productivity isn't as high. And it hasn't been. It's never been that high for the most part.
And they were trying to get rid of what's the name? Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, they wanted Baker Mayfield.
They want to get rid of him. So as soon as Deshaun Watson became available,
they got him.
Oh yeah, they picked him
jumped
up.
on it.
They said, I don't care about what you did. I don't care. We'll take it.
There's like, you ain't do nothing that bad. It'll take
it ain't that bad.
And so for Lamar, I think Lamar, honestly, I hope this doesn't happen, but I think he will look back on this decision and he'll regret it, I think. And the reason why I think that is because you can't look, you gotta at the end of the day, NFL is a business, right? Yeah. And the Ravens are a blue collar minded organization. They want to work you hard and they want to pay you as little as possible to do it. Because they're not a glitz and glam team. You know what I mean? The Ravens take pride in being like the city of Baltimore, a scrappy, hungry team, which is why they were able to win that Super Bowl that they won, not too long ago. And so defense, right? So they don't want it.
Both of them were defense.
They paid our UGA great, Roquan
Smith. Yeah, they just paid him.
They paid him $1 billion. Yeah. So he's staying there for a couple of years. So,
they want the Ravens want to be a defensive organization because they learned that from the Patriots, that's how you win. And so Lamar, I think he's valuing the fact that he can score with his legs and with his arm. But in the eyes of the NFL, it's just like, you're a quarterback. We need you to score with your arm because that's safer for us and that's a safer investment. So no, I'm not going to give you a 5-year fully guaranteed because that's what he wants. He wants a fully guaranteed contract. And the Ravens, I mean, if I was a business owner, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all because it's just like your productivity. You can't guarantee. You can't. Why would I guarantee you 5 years of pay when you can't guarantee me 5 years of productivity?
So, and then you gotta look at his injuries too.
Yeah,
that could be a part of it. But you can go. I mean, you can go both ways. With
that. Exactly. I would argue the latter, but
you can go both ways with that because I mean, to be honest, I think that the Ravens aren't relevant without Lamar Jackson.
That's
like to be honest, like look, they wouldn't been able to go to the playoffs for one.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't have been able to go to the playoffs. They wouldn't have been able to win a playoff game without Lamar Jackson. I mean, you can make an argument that, you know, the team that Lamar Jackson has around him is not conducive to his play style because he is a ball dominant quarterback. Like you said, like he's a dual threat. So like he's going to run the ball. Like, you know, he's going to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
A good amount of time. So like when you think about it, that's why you can make the argument that's why Hollywood Brown left the Ravens because
that's what they were saying.
You know, somebody a wide receiver who want to get stats, who want to, you know, be, you know, the guy. It's hard to play with a quarterback like that because you're not gonna get the ball like that. Like Lamar Jackson's gonna have the ball in his hands.
But see, that's the problem.
And he's not as a. If you compare him to another dual threat quarterback like Jalen Hurts, for example, Jalen Hurts when
Jalen Hurts is not a dual threat quarterback though.
He can run the ball. He can run the ball. He can like look.
What I say to Jalen Hurts he's a pass first quarterback. Lamar
he's not running the ball like Lamar Jackson.
Wants to pull that ball down and take off.
But they run an option with Jalen Hurts.
Okay, as a Ravens fan, I don't think Lamar has that in mind. It's more so he relies on it's like his last resort in a sense. Sort of how like
that's that man's first resort.
Russell Wilson used to be back in the day. That was his last resort. That's now he needs to work more on his passing on the run. If he can perfect that, then he'll be the GOAT. I believe if he can throw like Mahomes on the run, he'll be the GOAT. But I don't think he want to take that. He want to run all the time because, you know, as a quarterback, that's the reason why he wanted to be a quarterback. It's because of passing is most of the time you're gonna get known for. They're not gonna rush as much as the running back, but you want to get your passing numbers compared to all the greats.
That's fair.
And so I think that's his main thing. His last resort is running. But now, because he don't have the good mechanics, now they got to implement design runs and stuff like that. But he knows, I'm pretty sure as a player, he knows he's gonna get hurt. That's why he runs out of bounds. Like try to at least most of the time. But
and you can make an argument that he doesn't have the talent around him to be able to throw the football more.
But he can't. They can't. But see, that's the thing, right? It's like it's a double-edged sword. His skill set doesn't feed him. Doesn't feed the ability of other talent. And so what I mean by this is that I watch Lamar play, right? And so here's what I think. I think where let's say a Patrick Mahomes he's going through a full read, right? So he goes from his 1 read to his 2 read to his 3 read. By that time, he might be getting a little pressure. He's moving with the pocket, not moving out of the pocket. And he's still trying to get to get through all his reads, which is why he's a prolific passer. And I would say for Lamar, I feel like Lamar is reading maybe his second. He's getting to his second, maybe third read sometimes. And he's like, all right, I'm gone. Mm-hmm. And I think he's not moving with the pocket. He's moving with his legs and trying to score a touchdown that way. And I think as exciting as he can be and as talented as he is, unfortunately, there's no longevity in that. Longevity is in the guy that can stand tall in the pocket and deliver the ball. And he's never gonna. And even Jalen Hurts understood that as a player in college, which is why it was so beneficial for him to go to Oklahoma, spend that extra year, learn how to pass in the Lincoln Riley system, which is pass first. And we've seen that translate to the NFL for him. Like
and even with that, like you said, when he transferred, he was booed when he got drafted to the Eagles.
Yeah,
he was booed because I mean, nobody really believed in his throwing ability then, even when he got drafted. Mm-hmm. So before this season, for what I've heard, like he was working like really hard on his throwing mechanics. Like he I mean, some people say that like this is like when you talk about like the like comparing last year to this year as far as productivity for a player, like they saying Jalen Hurts, like the amount he improved from last year to this year, like this past year, is like the greatest ever, like the greatest 180 ever. Like that's how good he got at throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Like if you could take a performance enhancement for your mental, that's how fast he just got better than that.
Yeah, I mean he had over 300 yards passing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And had he not made that mistake, that one mistake,
that fumble.
Yeah, because I mean Shannon Sharp said this. He said it. He said it's gonna come down to somebody making a mistake.
Mm-hmm. It's always the case.
Somebody made a mistake. He fumbled that ball, gave him another touchdown. I mean, had he not made that mistake, they would have won that Super Bowl. I think.
But I will say, if Lamar had the weapons, because I'm a huge fan.
I agree with you.
But if he had weapons like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, or like you look, even for Mahomes, he had a Travis Kelce, he had Tyreek Hill. Then he also had McCole Hardman that can go down the field. Then he also had other people that are deep threats. If he had that and was able to have a constant safety net that he could throw it to, I know he has to walk as tight end now.
I don't think so. I honestly, I think that like sometimes like on the outside looking in, we want to believe that, but it's like this, right? So I watched the Patriots make do without big names year in year out, still win the Super Bowls, and the safety as a quarterback is about being a leader. And so the difference between the great quarterbacks and those that think they're great or not is that they get out there with those wide receivers and they work and they get out there with those linemen and they work and I'm not saying he's not doing that, but he's clearly not doing it well. And you have to do it well.
The reason why I say that he needs talent is because every great quarterback, what they're gonna say, they had this one-on-one connection with some great wide receiver. Usually the great quarterbacks will have a great wide receiver with them. And you look at example, they always compare him to Michael Vick. Ain't really had that type tier one great wide receiver.
Bro, he had Roddy.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
He don't have to be a Hall of Famer. Roddy was a great wide receiver in his period.
All the greatest quarterbacks had a Hall of Famer wide receiver. Had a Hall of Famer skill player.
Bro, because that's what I'm saying, right? It's like sports fans are horrible.
I know the wide receivers. They had Peerless Price. He had DJ Algie Crumpler. They're not Hall of Famers. You look at Peyton Manning. You look at Tom Brady.
Marvin Harrison. Peyton Manning again. Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Even Tom Brady and Randy Moss. Randy Moss was there. Randy Moss broke the single season touchdown record with Tom Brady.
But you know what's crazy about Tom Brady? But they almost went Randy Moss wasn't his best target.
What?
He threw most of his touchdown passes to, I think, either Gronkowski.
When Randy Moss was on that team.
Yeah.
When Randy Moss was on that team.
Yeah, it was a weapon that he used. No, they lost the Super Bowl.
Joe Montana got Jerry Rice. Yeah, but you got
to think about this though. It's like this, right? So, unfortunately, it's like when you're a wide receiver, you can own your wide receiver. The thing about it is, wide receivers are only as great as their quarterback.
That's true.
So
they are dependent.
That is why every Hall of Fame quarterback has a Hall of Fame wide receiver to go along with him.
Matthew Stafford is the outlier. Calvin Johnson.
Okay, that's an exception. Calvin Johnson,
but Calvin Johnson been doing it.
Calvin Johnson as your wide receiver. Then
you don't need a quarterback. You don't need a quarterback with Calvin Johnson.
You put on.
Remember the ball in the air, fam.
Remember at Georgia Tech when he the quarterback was like, the quarterback threw the ball the wrong way, and he's like, "Don't worry about it, bro." He just came back.
And the crazy thing
in traffic, by the way.
Georgia Tech is not a throwing team. They
no
an option. And he won the Biletnikoff.
How did he go?
He won the Biletnikoff.
And an option. It's like literally. It's like, bro, he could have won the West Point and still made it to the NFL and broke the pass.
They were throwing Hail Marys to this man. 2 receivers.
Same as Demaryius Thomas too. Remember Demaryius
2
Thomas?
receptions, 200 yards. They were just lobbing his man the ball.
But my point is like it's like Lamar, right? I don't know what he's doing in his off time. I don't know how he's working with his teammates, but I don't think he is working the way he think he is working with them, and that's the problem. It's right because it's like weapons are only as good as you can use them, right? Because like for example, Tyreek Hill left the Chiefs, no production decrease. Like obviously they increased in the production a little bit actually, because Pat Mahomes is a prolific passer. The people that Lamar Jackson are comparing himself to, which he is a top quarterback in the league, but he's not a prolific passer. Which, for longevity's sake, in order for him to get the contract he thinks he deserves, he needs to have a breakout year this year as a passer. He's not going to get the contract that he wants. And
I think that Lamar Jackson, considering when you consider what he's accomplished so far compared to somebody like Kyler Murray.
That's what I'm about to say.
Somebody like Kyler Murray who Lamar Jackson has done considerably more.
You see, that's the problem. You can't compare player production.
But Kyler Murray is a dual threat.
No, because it's a business, right? We always have to factor in the business aspect. The Arizona Cardinals, right? That's a small market. What I mean is like not many people trying to go to Arizona to be their starting quarterback. So it's just like you got to remember that part of it. So it's like Lamar Jackson is on a team who says, yeah, we want a good quarterback, but ultimately that's you are a centerpiece of our team, but you're not the only piece that we care. Like you're not the most important piece that we value. We value,
and that is crazy.
Yeah, because
Lamar Jackson is the most.
But they won a fucking Super Bowl
because of their defense
with Joe Flacco.
Now
because
Joe
of their
Flacco
defense
was one of the greatest playoff players out there.
That's true. I give you that.
Playoff.
He did play good the playoffs. He did.
He played.
But think about this though. But he at that point in his career, he didn't turn the ball over, and he stood in the pocket and he passed. And that's
he had Anquan Bolton, and he had the other speeder, the Smith guy with the dreads. They both had dreads at the time, but he had two good weapons. Plus, who was the tight end?
He had a good running back too. He had Ray Rice.
Yeah, Ray. He had a lot of weapons.
I forgot about Ray Rice.
Yeah, Ray Rice. But think about it though, is that Lamar Jackson, his running ability overshadows the rest of his team. Like it makes it hard to build. It's hard to build an offense around a dual threat quarterback. Like with Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts. The reason why he was so successful is because he stopped. He's not trying to run the ball. He's trying to pass. He's being a quarterback. He's doing what the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFL who are successful are doing. He's passing the ball, and his first 6 passes in the Super Bowl were all completions. And
first drive. Yeah, that first drive. Yeah,
it was 6-yard passes. 4 or 5-yard passes, right? And that's what it takes to be successful. And Lamar ain't successful there because while everybody loves the deep ball, like those 4 or 5-yard passes are actually a lot harder because you're trying to throw it in between linemen and their big arms. You're trying to throw it between linebackers and the receiver. You're trying to throw it between the wide receiver and the cornerback. So those short yard passes, like those slants, are actually a lot harder than they look. It's not far, but there's more people, more bodies involved, or those double moves.
I say it's more so because of I'll say the offense or offensive coordinator, even to the wide receivers. If I know that my guys ain't gonna, the people we defending are not gonna run a goal or don't have any deep threat, but the tight end that's gonna run post route pretty much every time. I'm gonna play my guys up. I'm gonna have my safeties, a little bit closer than I would when I'm playing, AJ Brown and them. And so now, Lamar is also in a run-based offense. So I'm even have them even close. So now it's like, if you had that deep threat or that one figure, like if they was to get DeAndre Hopkins or whatever, then they'll be able to play them safeties back, and they'll be able to play those cornerbacks back. But if you don't have those weapons, then you kind of leave him out to dry. Even the person that got bad mechanics and that can't throw, like for example Tim Tebow, he was able to lead that playoff run because he was a Demaryius Thomas and the other Thomas. So he had two dynamic weapons offense, even though he could barely throw, but he was
I
a little
say give Lamar.
But he also
Jackson.
had a really great defense too.
Yeah, he had a good defense.
Those Broncos
Yeah,
defense were great those years.
Give Lamar Jackson a solid like Pro Bowl level wide receiver and see what he do.
Exactly.
He got a decent tight end. Mark Andrews is a good tight end. He got a good tight end. Mark Andrews. He's a Pro Bowl level tight end, but he ain't Travis Kelce though.
Yeah.
He ain't Travis.
I think of Lamar.
Give Lamar the same weapons that Jalen Hurts got, and see what he do.
Lamar Jackson needs to start running the ball. And I know that sounds stupid, right? And somebody heard that, they're like, "Why the hell would you?" It's like if you want to get paid to be a quarterback in the NFL, start running the ball. Like learn the mechanics, do the hard work that you don't want to do. I think I heard
somebody say that.
Like stop running the ball. Stop running the ball because
he ain't got no choice.
No, he has a choice. Your
offensive line.
No, because you got to think about it, right? Like offensive, like when you're a quarterback or you are a coach on the team, you're a coach. So every time he decides to run the ball, he makes it harder for himself when it's time to get that paid, right? So. And if you look at Jalen Hurts' numbers between this year and Jalen Hurts learned to not rely on his legs to make plays. He will use his legs to keep the game going, to keep the team moving forward. He's not trying to run it for a touchdown. He's just trying to get to a first down and get down and get out of bounds, like just keep the drive going. That's what he's using his legs for: extend drives, extend plays. Lamar Jackson is using his legs to score touchdowns, and it's killing him in terms of getting paid. Like, yeah, he's seeing production, but all production isn't good production. It's like, regardless if you're winning games, it's like ultimately quarterbacks are judged on winning championships, winning playoff games. Winning seasonal games is expected, right? They expect you to win seasonal games. Which if you want to get the big contracts, like in terms of like the contracts, not necessarily just Sean Watson because he went to the Browns, but I'm talking about for the Pat Mahomes type contracts, the perennial quarterback contracts, right? Being the paid guy, he needs to start running the ball. Even Dak Prescott, like I don't think Dak should be getting paid what he's getting paid because
absolutely not.
Because of the way he's playing, but at the end of the day, he does what a quarterback's supposed to do. He passes the ball. Sometimes just not that well. And until Lamar
gets to the postseason and they lose, that's what you got to do as a quarterback. That's what you got to do.
And
Get
Lamar,
to the postseason and lose.
Honestly, if I was Lamar Jackson, I would hit up Jalen Hurts, and I'm like, bro, what did you do? How did you
Prescott?
Hell no.
You get paid. How you get paid that much after going to the playoffs multiple times and losing? How you get paid?
No, I would hit up Jalen Hurts and I'll be like, hey, Jalen, bro, what are you doing? How did you learn to rely less on your legs? And what are you doing in the offseason? And that's that is the person that he needs to be like, okay, I need to do what this guy's doing. Until then, he's gonna struggle to get paid the way he wants to get paid. And I believe that he could be a prolific passer, but he gotta give up the run game to do that.
I wouldn't say give it up all the way.
No, he gotta give it up.
Not all the way.
He gotta use it the way Pat Mahomes uses it to extend plays, extend drives.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah. If he can do that, because I think he has the arm strength. It is more so
the guy can throw the fucking ball.
Oh, yeah, he got the mechanics to do it.
His precision is like 60%. He's 60%. He ain't precise.
Yeah, whatever Jalen Hurts did, whoever worked with him,
He need to get some of that secret
He need to
stuff.
get that same person.
Yeah.
That same team or whatever.
So, like for example, right? I pulled up the stats. Right, he ran for like roughly 700 yards this season.
Yeah, that's more
on
than
a,
most running backs.
on 112 attempts. That's too much, man. In his career, he's ran for 4,000 yards. And like, bro, no, stop doing that, bro.
That's
Like,
more than a lot of running backs.
yeah. And like people say, well, what about Michael Vick? Michael Vick never won a Super Bowl. He probably never would have, and he was also a left-handed quarterback. That makes a big difference. That means he can go in directions that a lot of other people can't because he's left-handed. So sometimes that's like an advantage that Michael Vick had that people forget about. He was a left-handed threat quarterback.
But I would say to Lamar, I would do the same because I wouldn't shortchange myself just because of what everybody think or so. I would ask for all the money I can get because it is a dangerous sport. I can't earn the way I play. I'm not going to accept 133 guaranteed if I see same people that's doing the same thing. Deshaun Watson, he'll do a threat as well. And Kyler Murray, they all get more money than me. And I've won the MVP in between them. So no matter unless I think, and here's my conspiracy theory, I think Tom Brady probably took some stock and accepted stock in the Patriots. And so they probably gave him some in his contract. Hey, I'm gonna give you shares of our business, and you take money, take less money or something like that. He had to have, or he probably had. They probably promised him some type of share for him to take less money.
Well, also too, so in one of my classes that I took, right? So you got to remember, so the NFL has changed a lot over the years. So what the Patriots used to do, right, back in the day, I think before like 2013, 2014, the rules changed in terms of like rookie contracts. They used to make rookies sign 5-6 year deals, right? Yeah. And then they would make them play multiple positions, right? So it's like, hey, we're gonna get full productivity out of this person. One, while they're young in their prime, so they're their best physical shape, and then two, we're paying them the least amount of money as possible for that productivity. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna make them try multiple positions so that way we can really get the best bang for our buck. And Tom Brady was there in that period of time, right?
Yeah.
And so for an organization like the Patriots, they're like, hey, bro, why are we going to pay this one guy all this money when we can't build a team that way? And they sold, because you got to think about it. You're in the NFL, bro. You have a platform to make money. If you're worried about money as a starting quarterback in the NFL, you're probably doing it wrong, because like you're going to make the money off your endorsements, bro. Like the reason why Tom Brady didn't care about getting paid less is because he was still like, one, his wife was also a supermodel at the time. His ex-wife was a supermodel. And then
I think he got married to her in like 2010, ain't it? 2012, something like that. I think it was fairly recent.
Yeah, I think they've been married for a minute.
Yeah, but she was already a supermodel when they got married. Like she's the richest supermodel ever. And then also too, you gotta build a team. And you got to look at it that way. If money is your concern as a quarterback, like I get it, it's a business. You want to get paid. You got to feed your family, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But it's just like you have to build a team. And you'll make your money. If you're winning, you'll make your money. Winning makes you money. Not being a great player, not being the MVP. Winning is what gets you paid.
But the only thing to that is you can't win if you're injured. So that means you ain't gonna get the money if you're injured, and that's why they need that guaranteed. I want to sign as much guaranteed money as I can, because if I get injured and I put my body on the line for this company for this profit, and then they say, "Oh, okay, and you only getting this much of your contract, and you promised me, we signed for this," and then I got injured I got injured at work trying to further your. I would want as much money as I could get. I I wouldn't like being cut short. I gave my body for the company, for the betterment of the company. So that's why I say he needs to, try to pursue as much money as he can, or either
Okay.
sign a franchise tag and automatically get it. Either way, I
Okay.
wouldn't accept less money though from my
Right. He
counterpart.
gonna end up.
133
He gonna
million
end.
guaranteed
He gonna end up like
compared to
Dennis
Kyler
Schroeder.
Murray.
He gonna end up like Dennis Schroeder.
Trash.
He gonna end up like Dennis Schroeder.
What?
Man.
Nah.
Watch this.
He is way caliber player than
Dennis,
better caliber
no.
player than Dennis Schroeder.
I'm talking about the you know what happened to Dennis Schroeder, right? The basketball player for the Lakers.
He betted on himself and
he lost.
way less deal.
Because you got to think about it, man. Like it's eventually there's gonna be another guy, right? And so while I get what you're saying, he's like bet on myself, but it's like you're a quarterback, you're a dual threat a running quarterback in the National Football League, right? And last year he passed for I think roughly 2,000 yards. That's not enough to win a championship. Normally the guys that are going to the Super Bowl are throwing roughly, 3 to 3.5, they're throwing 3,500 yards in that season. Most of the time. Those are the guys who have a better chance. And and then they have a good defense to go. So Lamar isn't factoring in all the things. In my opinion, he's not accurately factoring in his pay. And the worst thing you could ever do is look at somebody else's checkbook and say, "Hey, I deserve to have this much because this guy." It's like, no, bro. You got to look at your organization, what they want from you, and what they expect from you, and assess all the variables, not just Kyler Murray got more than me and I'm better than Kyler Murray. So
ain't that expected though? Ain't that expected?
No, because
if you got so
it's not. It's not.
I'm saying if Kyler Murray, look, if I'm better than at my position, I'm better than you, Sharheem, if I'm better than you, everybody know I'm better than you.
Wait, what?
Analysts, everybody know I'm better than you at what I'm just hypothetically. I'm better than you. I'm better at you. We do the same thing. We play the same position.
But we don't.
Listen, I'm better. I am better than you at your position.
Mm-hmm.
I've accomplished more at my position than you have. And you getting paid more than me.
But see, that's the short-sighted way of looking at it.
You better believe I'm going
to
be like,
right?
yo,
exactly.
Whatever Sharheem getting, I want that or more.
Okay, let's think about it like this, right? Name me two of your favorite companies that you like to shop at. You know what I mean? Like, who's your two favorite companies? Where you shop at?
Shoot.
Or I'll just
like Amazon or something.
So I'm not going to use them. That's a bad example. But
Target.
let's say okay. So let's say we got the CEO of Target, right?
And CEO of Walmart.
A CEO of Walmart, right? For the mind you, like Walmart, kind of like they have a family that pretty much manages Walmart, like the Walton family, but the company still has a CEO, right? That has run the company. While we can expect the CEOs of those two organizations to have similar pay, we should never expect one. Basically, if the CEO of Target look at the CEO of Walmart pay and say, "Hey, I want that because I'm better at leader and managing of the organization that he is," you're hurting yourself because
No, because I will say, if I help my company that I came from earn more money than any other past CEOs that you've ever hired before,
mm-hmm.
or any of any other CEOs, if my margin of profit is better than who I'm competing against, I think I deserve a lot more because in the end, it's more profitable for you that you pay me so I can do my job and earn you more profit than I've been doing currently. You know what I'm saying?
So last year Lamar Jackson was 8-4. The year before that, he was 7-5. All the other quarterbacks are like we can't like.
Kyler Murray was trash. Deshaun Watson didn't even play. You got Russell Wilson.
They played
He didn't
these
even
two
make
guys.
the playoffs.
These two guys. So
Aaron Rodgers then he lost in the he lost in the championship. Only won an MVP, but he lost in the championship. But the MVP doesn't really even help the team.
He
It's more
lost in
so
the first
individual.
round, fam.
Yeah. Lost the first round
at home.
But these. So I'm gonna go down the list, right? Deshaun Watson plays for the Browns, right? They always pay because they're a struggling franchise with money to give away. Deshaun Watson is capital. He's getting a payday. He's not going there to win championships, right? Like you don't go to the Browns to win championships.
But
right?
Deshaun Watson is a top 5 quarterback, though.
And Deshaun Watson was also lucky to still be in the league.
That's true.
Right? So Deshaun Watson made the most brilliant decision that he could have made to one, stay in the NFL, two, get paid, and then he literally took advantage. He took advantage of the Browns the same way he took advantage of those, or allegedly took advantage of those women. Like, bro, he got.
Oh my god!
I said allegedly. I can't. I don't know. I don't know what happened for real, so I can't.
You gonna hit nighttime? Sorry, cut deep.
but okay, and then Kyler Murray, bro. Kyler Murray also he's not in the exact same situation as Deshaun Watson, but the Cardinals are a desperate team, and they were desperate for a quarterback, and they have been struggling for years to get one, and they have been struggling for years to keep one ever since Kurt Warner. And they paid him to keep him, and hopefully he pans out. But it was a gamble that they're probably going to lose, to be honest.
But see, what gets me is everyone saying, "Oh, well, I would pay Justin Herbert, I would pay Joe Burrow, I would pay Josh Allen." Now, Joe Burrow has made it to Super Bowl, but Josh Allen hasn't been in the Super Bowl just because his prototypical mechanics. They say, "Oh yeah, he should be."
Because he'll last longer, bro.
He can get hurt.
It's about risk. You got to think about a quarterback the same. Think about a quarterback the way you think about insurance policies. Like Lamar.
I'm saying he can get hurt in the pocket too. So
but you're saying the likelihood of
Lamar he can play a whole season.
The likelihood of a pocket passer getting hurt in today's NFL is almost it's almost not gonna happen, bro. Like they made it so these dudes don't get hurt. Like when I say don't get hurt, I mean they don't get hurt to the point they can't play. Lamar Jackson is out there running with dudes trying to take his head off. His likelihood of getting hurt on any play rises exponentially every time he touches the ball and takes off.
I mean,
but that's still with the coordinator. If I got a design pass play, and I know that after 3 seconds, I need a wide receiver open.
So let's think about it.
Somebody that can get open in 3 seconds, or he's gonna have to run.
Lamar Jackson is a placeholder, whether people realize it. I love Lamar Jackson, and I'm not saying this to discount his skills and take away from his talent. What I'm saying is the Ravens are using Lamar Jackson as a placeholder to sell tickets, maybe win a few games until they find them a pocket passer. Because at the end of the day, you can't win in the NFL unless you got a guy who can stand in the pocket and deliver the ball.
So if you saying Lamar Jackson is a placeholder, is a placeholder quarterback, and you see the market of quarterbacks are going higher each year, wouldn't it be more smart to just sign them now, just like Dak Prescott?
But they offer him $230 million. With $133 million guaranteed,
Joe Burrow gonna want $300 million. He gonna want $300 million,
and he's gonna get that $300 million.
Yeah, he's also a pocket passer. He's also been to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so Josh Allen, for example, Josh Allen is a pocket passer, I guess, but
he's a dual threat.
The difference between Lamar Jackson, I think, if you take out the injuries, I think Lamar Jackson this year. If you take out the injuries,
think about this. Josh Allen,
Josh Allen run the ball, and Josh Allen runs the ball.
Yeah,
he doesn't run like that. But when he runs. He runs.
But think about he's running the ball to Quarterbacks should only run for two
all the time.
reasons.
Sometimes he
Lamar do
running
the same.
He trying to lay wood.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, but
He
he
is not trying to get down.
And I bet if you look at the sideline, his coach is cussing him out. Like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
but then again, Josh Allen like 6, what like 6? We got 6'4", 6'3",
6'5", bro,
6'5", like 240.
He a white Cam Newton.
But listen to this. Think of this. Josh Allen contract is 6 years, $258 million, with $150 guaranteed. That's roughly that's just generally a similar contract to what was offered to Lamar.
Yeah,
it's not the exact same figures, but it's about the same.
That was the market back then.
Yeah, and I say Josh Allen, he didn't win an MVP yet. I don't think.
But MVPs don't. You got to think. It's like this, right? Every football team has a owner and a general manager, and these people care about different things. But MVPs don't fucking matter. Like, excuse my language, but they don't matter. And
it don't matter.
They matter. MVPs matter to fans. They don't matter to the general manager. It's like, what? Bro, okay, cool. You won the MVP,
but it is performance based though.
Aaron Rodgers just got signed for an extension.
Mm-hmm.
Worth about 50, what's that, 100, 200 something, like that.
Mm-hmm.
He got bounced in the first round of the playoffs.
But he won MVP though. Look at the team that he plays for, right? How many? So think about this. How many quarterbacks has the Packers had in the last 20 years? 2.
They were number one. They were the number one seed.
How many quarterbacks have the Packers had in the last 20 years? 2.
How many what? Say that again.
How many starting quarterbacks have the Packers had in the last 20 years? 2.
2, yeah. Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. That's the nature of their organization. They want a guy as the helm of their team, and they will pay him to keep him there. They don't want to switch quarterbacks out year in and year out. That's not their organization. You got to look at you have to look at the market and the organization that you're playing for, not just the organization or the market. You have to look at both together and go off of that. And based off both organizational history and market, the Ravens offered Lamar Jackson a good contract within the scope of how they do business. And for him to get more is going to be – he's not going to get much more than what he's been offered.
So, but you telling them to risk gambling in the draft for the next 5 years or so?
Yeah, I would.
And they already have a quarterback.
Because the likelihood of Lamar Jackson playing at a high level in the NFL 5 years from now is if he stays on current trajectory, Lamar will be lucky to make it to be playing 3 years from now.
So you want them to try to gamble to find a
solid wide receiver?
Yeah, it's not his wide receivers because he can't get to the wide receiver, bro. He's not, receiver. Bro. He's had good wide receivers, bro.
Who?
Hollywood Brown, don't say him because
the quarterback. It's the quarterback, bro. It's the quarterback. Lamar Jackson.
If Lamar
is great.
If Lamar says
he's also the problem. He's the problem too. Lamar Jackson is the problem.
Not the problem.
He is, bro.
No, he's not.
It's hard to see that.
They don't. The Ravens get nowhere.
It's hard to see that.
Bro, John Harbaugh was about to get fired before Lamar Jackson got there.
Because they didn't want him. Job. They didn't want him.
He did. He did.
He gambled on Lamar.
You want him to gamble again to find a Peyton Manning in the draft,
bro? Listen, bro. I get what you're saying.
Their nephew get drafted.
I get what you're saying, bro, but it's like I'm looking at this from I'm trying to look at this from a holistic point of view, not just how I feel about Lamar as a player, you know what I mean, and as a person, the stuff he does for the community of Baltimore, it's great, you know what I mean. But I'm saying when you're it's a business, and Lamar Jackson is a way too risky of an investment to give him more than generally more than what he's looking to get.
I would say. You pay his, was it
230 guaranteed or whatever he did.
133.
But the opportunity cost or the value loss if you let him walk and get traded, and now you got Joe Schmo at quarterback.
So what other team is Lamar Jackson going to go on and be productive?
A whole lot of other teams.
Dolphins.
No, name one. Name one.
Dolphins.
I promise you, bro.
Atlanta. He got
because you got it's so much that goes into productivity. The head coach, the organization, the general manager. Like it's not just Lamar Jackson. It's so many other factors.
And I promise you, them teams that Jay Lay talked about just named are going to pay this man whatever he asks for.
They're not.
Yes,
they're
not.
The only team
want last later. So they might.
They're going to pay him.
They're not. They're
yes,
not.
They are.
They will bring him in and use him
because they already know the market is going up.
The Jets, the Falcons, Miami.
They're not gonna pay Lamar, bro.
Come on, man.
So you rather lose money with Joe Schmo at quarterback, thousands of dollars? Because I'm not gonna pay for a ticket, and they got.
They're not gonna pay Lamar for the.
They're not gonna pay him.
They're not gonna pay Lamar for the same reasons I already said. It's like
they paid Russell.
They got
Wilson.
Josh Johnson. They had
before Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson had a trash season before he got paid.
You got to think about
another trash season.
The Broncos are desperate to get back to Super Bowl contention, and Russell Wilson seemed like the answer. I'm a Broncos fan, bro. It was a desperate move.
A bad team.
They didn't want to gamble in the draft.
The reason why they lost so many games is because of Russell Wilson.
It's also a first year with the team, bro. Not everybody's paid. Russell Wilson also isn't a prolific passer. He's good, but I never thought Russell Wilson was a great quarterback. I thought he was okay. He didn't turn the ball over.
I mean, he benefited off of having the Legion of Boom as a defense.
And Marshawn Lynch.
Lynch.
And also, too, he had good wide receivers.
Yeah, he had good wide receivers. Not Anquan Bolt. I keep saying that, but
was Tyler Lockett there?
Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett.
Okay.
And there was another guy, Baldwin, I think. Something Baldwin or something.
Yeah.
But
and he had Jimmy for a little while.
He did have Jimmy Graham for
He did. Oh, he did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like I still stand on my opinions. I think Lamar is great, but I just don't think he's fully understanding of everything that goes into these decisions, in terms of a business. It's just like you're way too risky. We get $250 million, 133 million guaranteed, with the likelihood that you probably gonna get hurt and not be able to play again.
Okay,
in 2-3 years.
What about Kyler Murray then?
But that's what I'm saying, bro. Kyler Murray. I never thought Kyler Murray was great. I never thought he was great in college. He went to Oklahoma.
He was a Heisman Trophy winner. Lamar Jackson was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Exactly. And you know why? How many times did they compete for a national championship? They played in horrible conferences, and they threw and ran a bunch of yards. Oklahoma, Kyler Murray went to Oklahoma, Lamar Jackson went to Houston, and he threw ridiculous numbers and rushed for ridiculous numbers. And Kyler Murray threw for ridiculous numbers at Oklahoma in the Lincoln Riley offense that has also produced Baker Mayfield and
Justin Hurts.
And I know you want to say Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts is an Alabama product. He spent 1 year at Oklahoma refining his passing skills. But nature.
I would say Alabama got some skeptical quarterbacks that don't really pan out in the league, just like Ohio State. But ain't going. AJ McCarron, McElroy.
But those you can't name those dudes.
Blake Sims or whatever the name was.
No, that's not fair because those guys weren't passers. They were game managers.
AJ McCarron was
no, he wasn't. He was a game. He was a game manager because back then the Alabama offense was predicated around having a stable of running backs to literally pound the shit out of teams. And so that's why now we see what's the starting quarterback for the Patriots?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. he's panning out because Nick Saban changed his offense to focus around a prolific passing quarterback and a dynamic group of wide receivers.
Yeah, but I'll say Jalen Hurts improved because of Oklahoma.
Yeah, but think about this though. Jalen Hurts, that was why he went there. That was what he went there for. Him and Nick Saban sat down and he said, "All right, Jalen, like I'm gonna go with Tua, but here's what we think you should do. Use your 5th year, go to Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley."
Oh well, I doubt it. I don't know.
No, bro.
Nick Saban
bro.
seemed like he'll want you to stay.
No, bro. They have respect. They love Jalen Hurts at Alabama. They have mass respect for him. Like they ended on his time at Alabama ended on great terms. It wasn't like he said screw the team, screw Alabama. It was just like Alabama was moving on with Tua, and Jalen was still somebody they value. And he even stayed there a year as a backup. And he exercised his 5th year option to go learn. So he stayed at Alabama for that year, and he worked with the quarterback coach there to work on his passing, even though he wasn't the starter. And then he transferred to Oklahoma. So he spent a year at Oklahoma as a backup, at Alabama as a backup learning the pass. Then he spent a year at Oklahoma refining his passing game, and then he got better from there. He did things that people don't want to do to be where he is today. Lamar, on the other hand, he got lucky that the Ravens had a struggle with Joe Flacco, because Joe Flacco, for the most part, wasn't, his first couple of years in the league, he was actually he was a good quarterback. He just started struggling along the way.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson came along at the right time and took his position.
But I would rather pay for that talent that Lamar Jackson has, whether it's refined or raw.
But see, you don't pay for talent. Talent is the worst thing you can pay for. I'm paying to win. I'm paying to win I'm paying my quarterback.
You're not gonna win with a rookie quarterback that you're gonna pick from the draft.
Why not? Joe Burrow was a rookie quarterback.
Joe Burrow was an outlier.
Joe Burrow has been.
Sean Watson is. Joe Burrow was an outlier, and before he even was shining, he couldn't start at Ohio State. He was it when he got in his first year at LSU? I think, was it his first year or second year? I don't know. But at Ohio State, he wasn't that good. It's only till he had Jefferson and Chase, Lamar Chase. Then he had some other great weapons and a great defense, and that's when he started shining. But then you see he was able, when he got hurt, it was lucky for him because his rookie year when he got hurt, that was lucky for him because they didn't really blame the season all on him. But then he was able to get Jamar Chase because of that terrible season. I said Jamar Chase. What's his name? Chase. He was able to get him because they had a terrible season. Now he got a dynamic weapon. But Lamar Jackson, he never had a dynamic weapon. They tried Hollywood Brown, but he dropping balls. He's not a dynamic receiver. And so
I feel like you playing the blame game for Lamar, bro. I think when it comes to the quarterback position, I'm not paying you to be talented. I'm paying you to lead my team, to lead my offense, to make. That's what I'm paying you. I'm not paying you. Nobody's going to pay you $250 million to
but
be
you're
talented.
Paying a game manager then?
I'm paying the guy to lead my team. That's what that money is for. It's for you to lead my team.
Lamar Jackson, you can only lead a team so far when you don't have the talent around you.
Right.
But Lamar Jackson is like basically like Tim Tebow with a chance. Like he got a chance.
Absolutely,
he can throw.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is not Tim Tebow.
Bro, Lamar Jackson is Tim Tebow.
Okay.
Bro.
Lamar Jackson, the NFL version of Tim Tebow, not college. I think college Tim Tebow is the GOAT.
Yeah.
But NFL Tim Tebow and Lamar Jackson, you can make an argument that Lamar Jackson in college is up there with, because they both won Heisman, did they not? They both did.
Yeah.
But I would take Lamar Jackson in
But did Lamar do 20? Lamar did 20 and 20
over. You need a team around you, man. You
Yeah,
can't
but
lose
that's
by
what I'm
yourself.
saying. That's the point that I'm making. The quarterback is getting paid to build that team, to
The
build that
argument,
offense.
the same argument like for example, Steph Curry, for example, at Golden State this year, people were saying, can he win without KD being there?
He
And
did it
people were
before
saying,
KD
and
came,
he did, and people were still saying, can he win without KD? People were still saying that.
but that's because fans don't understand the full dynamic of sports and players.
People were saying Steph Curry. People saying Steph Curry is a system type player, like he fits in a system.
But
But Stephen Curry is the system.
every player is a
At
system
Baltimore,
player.
no. At Baltimore, Lamar Jackson is the system.
Right.
And he's
is
not
the
a good
offense.
system. He's not an efficient
Right.
system.
He is
Lamar
the
Jackson.
offense.
Lamar Jackson is like a fucking 98 Honda Accord. Yeah, he runs. Yeah, he gets you where you need to go.
But that's a solid car.
Yeah, but you don't pay top dollar for a solid car. You pay top dollar for efficient, like
But
look
Hondas
good.
got longevity though.
Yeah, but that's why I say he a 98 Honda, because in today's market he don't got
Still driving.
longevity.
I would
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
lock in his contract now because next contract season they gonna want 400.
So yeah, think about this. Like, let's think about this, right? Let's think about this. So Lamar Jackson is the one who is in this negotiation. Lamar is the one with the most to lose. The Ravens are going to exist whether Lamar Jackson exists or is in the NFL or not. So they don't
He's on the franchise.
They don't need to lock him
franchise-
in. They don't need to lock in Lamar because Lamar hasn't proven that he can be there when they need him, and that's a lot to gamble on. Lamar Jackson is hurt in critical times every year in the last like 2-3 years.
If he play on the franchise, he's going to get a lot more guarantee. He's going to get a lot more money than what he did if he would have took that contract, that 133. He would have had more if he play on a franchise. So it's either you do his terms or he plays on a franchise. Now he goes to another team that just give him max, or they can match it. But why
they're going to pay this man?
Why the prices are low? You can't like.
But you can't. That's a speculative argument. You don't make decisions.
Same as I'm gonna find a generational talent quarterback. You gonna go
Lamar Jackson and Lamar Jackson is a generational talent quarterback, but his style is not gonna transcend, bro. Lamar Jackson is not gonna be able to use his leg 10 years from now. But Patrick Mahomes can still be doing the same stuff he's doing right now 10 years from now. Lamar Jackson can't do that sustainably for the next 10 years.
Patrick Mahomes is not going to be throwing behind the back passes for 10 years, bro.
Bro, Tom Brady just did that shit for 20 years. You know why?
Tom Brady's not throwing behind the back no look passes, bro, for 10 years. Matthew Stafford was doing that, but guess who he had at wide receiver?
But he won't doing much of anything but throwing up. He's like shit. That's Megatron down there somewhere.
If I was Matt Stafford, I would have did the same thing. Just throw it up and let him get it.
Throw it up there.
Yeah, just lob it. Let him go get
it. Business wise, it's a good decision. Pay Lamar Jackson so you won't have to pay. Because if you don't believe in him, you pay him now while he's cheap, and then you'll risk It was a lot of athletes that get paid a ton of money. One example, Gilbert Arenas, when they're on that last leg, and they get frauded. They fraud the team out. Oh yeah, I'm good and ready to go, and then they just have a downturn. Or you can even say Russell Wilson. Everybody thought he was still the apex, which I think he still has some playing time. But prime Russell Wilson, he can't run like prime Russell Wilson anymore. So you don't pay him a lot of money guaranteed, and then now it's the money's wasted. He ain't as talented as you expected. So you pay, but it's lucky you paid him now, because in the future, that money gonna be even more, and that cap space is gonna keep rising, because I think they increased the cap number too, the salary cap. So that money you pay them is gonna be even higher. So I say before Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and all these other young quarterbacks start negotiating.
Bro, I'm telling you, listen, bro. Like, I think y'all looking at this in a way that's good, but I think y'all skipping over like a lot of facts, bro. And I think that
Facts about what?
facts about the business that is the NFL, not about
Cleveland
how.
Browns followed that same model, and guess what? They had terrible quarterback, terrible quarterback, terrible quarterback, terrible quarterback. They couldn't find that ideal person until
Boo-boo.
Baker Mayfield, which then ended up being another terrible quarterback. And they
But
finally
Boo-boo.
but
franchise.
that's a bad organization because one, you know why they're the Cleveland Browns had figured out because they kept fucking paying a quarterback. You build a team and then the way you build a team, right? If you go back and look at all the drafts, right? The most successful team for the last 20 years arguably has been the Patriots, right? I'm pretty sure they've won the most Super Bowls in that.
Yeah.
If you go look at their first round draft picks for their like last 20 years, 90% of the time is a defensive player or a lineman. I'm talking about even before Tom Brady. It's a defensive player or a lineman. Right?
Why is a defensive player? Look
Because
who their head coach is.
Patriots, I believe, is an outlier
Bill
because
Belichick.
they
Guess who
people.
Bill Belichick came? Guess where Bill Belichick came from?
They get
The New York
steals.
Giants. Guess who he was at the New York Giants? A defensive coordinator. And who was he coaching at New York Giants?
Lawrence Taylor.
The greatest defensive player of all time.
Lawrence Taylor is definitely the greatest.
Of course, they're gonna draft defensive players.
But why is
coach is a defensive minded guy?
But that's why they're successful.
No,
you build a team. You build a team. There's a specific way to build a team, and also too, you got to build a team based around the city that you're a part of. Like your team needs to match the energy of the city, right? Kansas City Chiefs, they match the city. The teams that are winning successful over and over, the Patriots are representative of what it's like to be a New England person, right? And you have to build a team around it. Lamar Jackson, I think he fits with the Ravens, but I think the problem is that he is not doing what it takes to build the team. And so right now, he definitely should get paid, but the problem is that he needs to sit down. He needs to sit down and realize that he's at a critical point in his career. Well, it's like you got to make a decision at some point as a professional quarterback. Do I want to get paid or do I want to win?
No, see, I think you're looking at it as the average Joe. Like anybody else say, "Oh, you give me $133 million, that's good." But if somebody said, if it was between $20 to do your job and paying that there's somebody better, they say, "I'm gonna give you $20," as opposed to somebody else that the better got $30. You're gonna be like, "Yo, man, hold on. Why can I get that 30 like you just paid?"
I wouldn't do that because I don't look at other people's pay and assess that and think I should get paid that. Because I go in knowing what I'm worth and I'm gonna decide. But I'm also gonna look at the situation that I'm trying to.
So you gonna give my discount?
No, it's not a discount, right? I'm deciding. You have to decide if you want to. It's the NFL. If you either want to get paid or you want to win, and it's hard to get both. It's hard to get both. It's hard to get both. Patrick Mahomes is getting both right now, but he got lucky. He got lucky and came into the NFL at the perfect time, and he had the perfect coach to do what he needed to do to get paid and win. But historically, you don't get both because you got to build a team before you can win. And right now, Lamar Jackson, what he's not doing is building a team, and it's indicative of him not understanding. Like, bro, like maybe like it's not about him. It's not about how much money you can make and get paid. It's about what do I need to do to make sure that I get the weapons that I need to get.
But
even
that
then,
argument,
Lamar Jackson can only do so much, fam.
I say that argument would be valid if you didn't go back his previous years. They had about 3+ was how long Lamar Jackson been in the league? Since after his rookie
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
They could have been drafting talent. And the only person that they added to him was Orlando Brown, which is a good tackle, and then and AJ Brown, which didn't pan out. And so you willing to trust them to draft more talent, or I'm gonna take a pay cut and they gonna give you the weapons? I don't think that's how it works. They ain't gonna. I don't think they're gonna do that. They're gonna keep doing what they want to do. So I'm not gonna keep taking a pay cut if you're not gonna keep giving me the weapons I need. So I'm gonna max it out.
Give him a wide receiver, bro. Kirk Cousins. Come on, man. Look at Kirk Cousins. He got Justin Jefferson, man.
All right,
Kirk Cousins is in my opinion, he ain't no Lamar Jackson.
Oh, definitely.
But he got Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
I mean, he got Justin Jefferson.
I said you putting your faith into the organization, and they can't put their faith into you because you saying I'm gonna take a pay cut,
man.
Because they gonna build a team that I need so I can win.
Okay, so let's look at this, right?
Give him a quarterback.
Lamar Jackson got drafted in 2018, right? In that draft in that same cohort of like draftees for the Ravens, there was 2 wide receivers. Obviously, they ain't panning out. We don't know who the hell they are. And then 2019, they drafted Marquise Brown, number 1 overall, and Miles Boykin, number 1 overall, to kind of build a team around Lamar.
Plus.
And then 2, they drafted a wide receiver 3rd round. They drafted 2 wide receivers a year after that, and then they drafted Rashad Bateman in 2021. So it's like they drafted offensive line. Basically, they're drafting a lot of offensive players, they're drafting tackles and guards. It's like, but this is what that goes back to my point, right? The Ravens franchise can draft all the fucking wide receivers or bring in all the free agent wide receivers they want to make Lamar Jackson happy. But that's not gonna get the Ravens what they're paying Lamar for. Lamar has to build a team. He has to build the team. That is arguably the job of a starting quarterback in the NFL, to build a team.
They just wasted 7 draft picks while they had Lamar or whatever how many of those wide receiver players they are. They just wasted those guys and ain't hit yet. And you want to make me believe that if I take a pay cut now that you gonna.
So what's the answer then? So basically what you're saying is there's no answer. They're trying. There's no answer. Because you're every player that you sign is a gamble. They can go.
First off, they need to pay Lamar Jackson.
No, they don't need to pay Lamar. They don't.
They need to pay him first.
But they offered the man $250 million.
That is a low ball.
No, it's not.
Only one
Lamar Jackson, because Stephen A. Smith said this, and I 100% agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson is worth.
Okay.
Steve, come on now. He's a best.
Stephen A. don't know football, bro. I don't listen to that man's football opinions, bro.
Stephen A. is a source.
He a source of nothing.
This is what he said.
Crock of bullshit.
This is what he said. He said Lamar Jackson is worth at least $50 million a year or $200 million guaranteed at least.
Listen to this. Think about this, right? They offer him $250. Listen, they offer him $250 million a year for 5 years. What is that? That's $50 million a year, bro.
Not guaranteed though.
But think about it,
guaranteed,
bro. But what? That's the problem, bro. Why does if you're getting $50 million a year, you're guaranteed roughly half of that. Bro, what organization or what business would you give a person 200? Like the Browns were fucking stupid for giving Deshaun. Sorry for excuse me.
Absolutely,
that was stupid for doing that.
You are absolutely correct.
And the Ravens would be even dumber if they did that with Lamar.
The Browns messed up the quarterback.
Yes, it was ridiculous. But if Lamar said, "All right, listen." If Lamar wants more money, what I would do is I would say, all right, I want more money. Give me $300 million, but give me less guaranteed.
What?
No, because think about this, right? No. Think about this, right? You're gambling already anyway. So if you're gonna gamble. So
for what?
Because
less guaranteed.
All guaranteed.
Sharheem. You don't get paid. You don't get paid based off of your potential, fam. You get paid on what you already did.
No, you don't.
Most
you
teams
do.
give you the
not.
guaranteed money.
So
You
no,
get paid based on
listen.
what you've
No,
done.
that is not true, and that is not true at all. Let me explain to you why it's not true, right?
If
So
I throw under 20 touchdowns for the first 3 years of for the first 4 years of my contract, and I got one more contract, I'm looking for an extension. You think I'm gonna get an extension?
no, you get paid based
Absolutely
off
not.
you get paid based off what they believe you can do in the future.
No.
Yes,
You get paid
yes.
off what you did.
They put stipulations.
You already got paid for what you did. You already got paid for what you did.
No.
So no. No, listen
Show
to me. Listen
me
to me.
what
Listen,
you can
listen
do,
to me
and
clearly.
you will
Listen
get
to me
that
clearly.
extension.
You get paid based off a player. Every player in the NFL is a project, right? Projects fail all the time, and sometimes they pan out, right? So the money that they're offering Lamar, right, is saying this. What they're saying is, hey, we believe, right, that for the future of your existence in this organization, we believe that, like, based off our analysis, that we should pay you, roughly $250 million for future productivity. We're paying you
based on what he's done already.
Yeah, but they're not paying him for what he's done already. They're paying him based on what they think he
That's
can
how
do.
you get the extension. You gotta show him. You gotta show him
Yeah,
something.
yeah, but what else?
Quick admin. Mine say 30 minutes and 55 seconds. Did it stop recording after that?
Mine says still recording.
Mine's at 55. Okay. Well, hey, keep going. I don't know what
You should be good. We've been recording for like 2 hours.
Okay.
2.5 hours.
Yeah. So I think the problem with Lamar is that I think he definitely deserves to get paid, but I think he is not in the driver's seat of these negotiations, and that's the problem, right? He's a great talent. He's a great player. Maybe there's another team that'll give him a Lamar Jackson deal, but they ain't the Ravens. He just got to know that. You know what I mean? Just like some people, mama, like they can go and come and go as they please. That ain't everybody, mama, bro. Like, some mama, we could be. That light come on, you got to be at home.
I guess I agree. And then you be like the Patriots, jump on a Mac Jones, and because he a prolific prototype quarterback.
No, because they believe that over time they can develop Mac Jones to be, and they can. Mac Jones can be developed into a great quarterback over the long run. They're gonna get him low, and productivity gonna explode in year 3 or 4, and then it's about productivity, right? Lamar Jackson is reaching the end of his productivity, whether we want to believe that or not. Whether some people might sound stupid, I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's like there's enough statistical data to prove when a person is reaching their productivity limit. It's like they can't produce more than this. And he's reaching that limit. He's already been in the NFL for 5 years. So if he was going to have an explosive year and do more than what he's doing, he would have had it already.
I would say rebuilds are just it's bad.
Dirty business. Rebuilding is dirty business. It's dirty business.
I'm not gonna pay no money to see Joe Schmo at quarterback. You just gave away my franchise quarterback, and then I watch y'all lose every game every year, and then you draft somebody else, and then they do the same. So that's. If
Lamar gonna lose big. Lamar gonna lose out on this.
No, not with the franchise tag, because he either sign or
it's just a 1 year deal. Franchise tag is a 1 year deal. It's just a 1 year sign. They have to sign it.
Did it twice, I think.
Yeah, but it's still just a 1 year deal where basically you get. I looked it up real quick. Basically, what they do is they take the top 5 salaries of your position, and then they average it or 120% of your previous salary, whichever is higher, and then they pay you that for a year.
Hey.
Yeah, but it's not it's literally for the annual salary, not the you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's basically we're going to give you market value of your position. That's all a franchise tag really means. We're going to give you market value of your position. Based off either other people's salaries or your previous salary.